Don't live luxuriously on your husband's money. The comment from my mother-in-law, Wendy, freezes the atmosphere at the 60th birthday celebration I organized for my mom. In the midst of this, "All right, let's split the bill then," my usually calm mom says. Wendy looks stunned and lets out a confused, "Huh?" My name is Layla, and I'm 37 years old. I quit my full-time job when I got married 2 years ago, and now work part-time while supporting my husband, Walker. Life was great until last month when we started living with Wendy. The reason? My father-in-law passed away. He died of cancer 3 months ago, leaving Wendy to live alone. Wendy felt scared and lonely living by herself, so we moved into Walker's family home. Before we got married, Walker had told me, "I'm an only child, so I'll have to take care of my parents. I want to be there for them, especially if they need caregiving." Wendy is a kind person, so I agreed to live with her in the future, even offering to help with caregiving. She never interfered in our marriage, and she was a great homemaker when my father-in-law was alive. I respected her and thought I was lucky to have such a good mother-in-law. So we started living together earlier than planned, and I was looking forward to a happy life as a family of 3. But I never expected Wendy to turn out the way she did. A month into living together, we started to feel more comfortable around each other. "Hey Layla, I want to eat hamburgers for dinner tonight. Can you make some?" I often get dinner requests like this. "Sure, let's have hamburgers for dinner tonight." Some mothers-in-law apparently won't eat anything their daughters-in-law cook, but Wendy enjoys my cooking. She never complains about my cleaning or laundry either, making it easy for me to manage the household. "I'm really glad we're living together, Layla." She even says, making me feel fulfilled. It makes me happy to be praised by someone I respect. However, I sometimes wonder why Wendy doesn't do any housework. She praises me, but never lifts a finger herself. She leaves her dishes in the sink and doesn't even take her trash out. It's like living with a traditional dad. On top of that, if you eat sweets, leave the garbage on the spot. When I clean, I find crumbs everywhere, presumably from snacks Wendy has eaten. Wendy lives on the inheritance and survivor benefits from my late father-in-law. Walker gave all the inheritance to Wendy, saying, "My mom put up with my dad's whims all her life." I didn't quite understand, but it's not my place to get involved in their financial matters. As long as they're both okay with it, I thought it was fine. But when Wendy spends her days doing nothing, living off my late father-in-law's inheritance and survivor benefits, it starts to bother me. I wish she'd at least clean up after herself. She used to be so good at housework when my father-in-law was alive. Why has she become so careless now? Curious, I gently asked Wendy about it. "My husband was a very strict man, and I couldn't defy him. Now that he's gone, I'm finally free." It turns out my father-in-law was a hen-picked husband, and Wendy felt she couldn't go against him. I remember how he used to sit during meals, ordering Wendy around. Was that what it was? Now I understand what Wendy meant, and I can't help but feel sorry for Wendy. I'll take care of the housework from now on, I decide, considering Wendy's feelings. But then, Wendy starts making more and more demands. "Can you take a day off from your part-time job today? I want you to drive me to my friend's place." I can't take a day off. I firmly decline, and she says, "Is your pocket money that important to you?" Excuse me? I can't believe what I'm hearing. Spending money? I work part-time for the family, not for pocket money. Considering we've just started living together and will continue to do so, I don't voice my complaints. "Hey, we're out of milk. Can you go buy some now? I can't start my day without milk. Can't you see I'm about to leave for work? If you hurry, you won't be late." "Hey Layla, my trash can is full. Take it out. And while you're at it, vacuum and mop my room. It's getting dirty." Wendy starts taking advantage of my willingness to do housework without complaining. This is too much. I gently tell Wendy what I can't do. I'm telling you to do it, so do it. Why can't you? She gets furious. I'm at my wit's end and decide to consult Walker. Seriously? I'm sorry. Walker apologizes and immediately scolds Wendy. Mom, you should take care of yourself. Unlike Layla, who works part-time, you're home all day. But Wendy just brushes it off. Yeah, I get it. She clearly doesn't. I start to feel uneasy about this living arrangement. Walker seems to sense my feelings. I'll take care of Mom as much as I can. If there's anything I can do, just let me know. I feel relieved by Walker's words. And true to his word, Walker starts dealing with Wendy's whims. But Wendy isn't happy about it. Why is Walker doing this? Layla, as his wife, you should be the one doing these things. Walker is the breadwinner, and you're just a part-timer. You think it's okay to make a tired Walker do this? Come on, Layla, wash my dishes right now. At this, Walker is furious. Hey, Mom, stop making Layla do everything. If you're going to talk like that, shouldn't you, who does nothing all day, be the one doing the housework? He has a point, but Wendy is angered by Walker's words. What are you talking about? Your father always told me a wife must take care of the family. A wife must obey her husband. Now that he's gone, I'm not anyone's wife, and I'm the head of this household. That means Layla, as your wife, should be taking care of me. Is Wendy still bound by my father-in-law's words? I can't hold back and argue with her. Wendy, times have changed. These days, no one thinks that way about wives and husbands. You need to change your mindset. Walker nods in agreement, but Wendy's face turns red with anger. What are you saying? Are you calling me outdated? How dare you, as a wife, say such terrible things to me? I'm shocked. Then Wendy continues to vent her anger at me. The only reason I taught you how to do housework was so you could do it all when we lived together. I agreed to live with you because I wanted an easier life after all the hardships I've endured. Even Walker is surprised by her revelation. Look, I get it that you've had it tough, Mom, but it's not okay to treat Layla like a slave, and it's not okay to move in with us for such a selfish reason. Exactly. Wendy has no comeback. Enough. I'm disappointed that you're siding with her over your own mother. She storms off to her room and slams the door. Walker and I sigh. Layla, I'm really sorry. You don't want to live like this, do you? I nod slightly. Then comes a surprising suggestion. Should we stop living together? What? I never thought he'd suggest that. I didn't expect Mom to become so selfish after Dad passed away. But we can't keep living like this. Let's move. I'm happy to hear this, but moving now is a concern. In fact, my mom's 60th birthday celebration is just around the corner, and I'm the one organizing it. I've just bought an expensive gift for her, wanting to give something special back to the woman who raised me. Moving would be another big expense. When I mention this, Walker also looks troubled. Plus, we've just moved here, and Walker's savings have taken a hit. Moving now would be difficult, but we can't put up with Wendy anymore. We ponder what to do, but can't find an answer. In the end, we put the moving idea on hold. And so we continue to endure Wendy's whims and clashes. The stress is piling up, and we're both exhausted. In the midst of this, my mom's 60th birthday celebration is approaching. It's next month, huh? As Walker and I discuss the celebration, Wendy joins the conversation. What's happening next month? We proceed to explain. So please, have dinner alone that day. I'll prepare the meal for you. When I said that, Wendy, as usual, made a selfish demand. I'm coming too. You're coming too? I couldn't understand why Wendy, who had only met my mom a few times, would say that. Walker seemed to feel the same way and asked her, a bit annoyed. Hey, why would you come, Mom? It's for Layla's mom's 60th birthday celebration. Then came an incomprehensible reply. Well, I never got a 60th birthday celebration from Layla, so you should celebrate me too. What? Neither of us could make sense of it. Wendy is 63, and when we first met, she was already past 60. Yet she's demanding a celebration? Walker couldn't understand her logic either and kept arguing. This is ridiculous. But Wendy wouldn't budge, insisting, I'm going! Celebrate me too! So they kept arguing. This was getting nowhere. Fine. If my mom agrees, then Wendy can come too. I called my mom. Would it be okay if Walker's mom also joins the 60th birthday celebration? My mom graciously said, Sure. Yay! Then I'm coming to the 60th birthday celebration. Ugh. This is turning into a hassle. Walker and I exchanged glances, both probably thinking the same thing, but we had no idea what was coming. Little did we know that Wendy's selfishness would escalate even more on this particular day. On the day of the 60th birthday celebration, we headed to my parents' house by train. Why are we taking the train, Layla? What happened to the car? I hate trains. My mom loves her alcohol, and the plan was for everyone to drink. That's why we couldn't drive. When I explained, Wendy looked displeased. Well, you could just abstain from drinking, Layla. I'll drink your share too. So get off the train now and go rent a car. I can't do that. My mom is looking forward to drinking with me, I said, refusing her demand. She kept grumbling. It's not like the train ride was that long. It's only about 20 minutes from our house to my parents. Despite feeling embarrassed by her loud complaints on the train, Walker and I finally arrived at my parents' home. We were greeted by my mom, who then said hello to Wendy. Layla is always in your care. I hope she's not causing any trouble. Wendy laughed and responded in a way that was completely out of line. She's always a handful. She does the housework I've taught her, but she's so busy trying to make extra money that she sometimes doesn't listen. But hey, she's the wife Walker brought home. Walker immediately scolded Wendy. Mom, what are you saying? My mom and I were stunned. Ignoring that she wasn't even a family member, Wendy led the way into the house. You're having a hard time living with her, aren't you? My mom whispered this to me so Wendy couldn't hear. I could only respond with a wry smile. When we got to the living room, the catering we had ordered was already there. I had told my mom, You don't have to do any of the serving or cleaning. So Walker and I started setting the table. Why are you making Walker do this? You should do it yourself. I couldn't believe she would say something like that here, too. Walker was visibly frustrated, while my mom quietly observed. Wow, this looks delicious. I didn't expect to eat such a feast. I'm glad I came all this way for this 60th birthday celebration. She's a guest in someone else's home, yet she acts like this? Does she have no common sense? The celebration began with a toast. My own father passed away 4 years ago. Wendy used that as a topic to steer the conversation. Your husband passed away too, right? Isn't life great living off the inheritance and survivor's pension? I've been having a blast since my husband passed. I couldn't believe she could bring up such a topic so casually. I ate my meal with a strained face. Every time Wendy said something inappropriate, Walker would step in saying, Stop it, Mom. He looked exhausted. We both regretted bringing her along, to say the least. For the record, my mom works and doesn't rely on my dad's inheritance or survivor's pension. She seemed taken aback by Wendy's comments, too. Then the topic shifted to the catering I had ordered. So, this is delicious, but how much did it cost? Was it expensive, like $200 or $300? Another tone-deaf comment. Just as I was getting fed up, Wendy suddenly became angry. You know it's fine to celebrate your mom's 60th birthday, but doing it with Walker's money isn't right. Use your own spending money. What is she talking about all of a sudden? I paid for this catering from my own part-time job earnings. But Wendy wouldn't listen. You can't possibly afford such an expensive meal on your measly salary. She even went as far as to say that. Don't be so cheeky, spending your husband's money like that. Why would she say such a thing during my mom's 60th birthday celebration? I deeply regret bringing Wendy along. I can't forgive her for creating this atmosphere. I was about to lose my patience and tell Wendy off, when at that moment, "All right, let's go Dutch then. We'll split it 4 ways. How does that sound?" It was my mom who spoke. What? Everyone was shocked. My mom, who had stayed silent every time Wendy made an outrageous comment, was now suggesting this. Wait, what are you saying? Going Dutch on a 60th birthday celebration? That's absurd. Wendy was rattled by my mom's words. In response, my mom spoke confidently. Layla has explained multiple times that she paid for this with her own money, right? But Wendy, you wouldn't accept that, insisting it must be Walker's money. So I thought doing Dutch would settle this. Wendy was speechless. My mom continued. Oh, and Wendy, please pay with your own money, not the money left by your late husband. At this, Wendy became furious. What? Why do I have to be told that by you? Facing Wendy's red-faced, loud outburst, my mom responded calmly. Well, you did say, don't indulge in luxuries with your husband's money, didn't you? So it would be wrong to use your late husband's inheritance, right? Fair point. Wendy had nothing to say, but she was so furious that she started to say something ridiculous. Well, it's fine for me, but not for Layla, because Layla is using my precious Walker's hard-earned money. If a wife spends it carelessly, of course a parent would get angry. She's talking nonsense. Walker and I exchanged incredulous glances. I get it. I really do. I'm angry, too. I'm frustrated that my dear daughter is being unfairly scolded by Wendy. At this point, Wendy seemed at a loss for words, struggling to come up with a retort. Well, you see. Shuddering and flustered, Wendy was silenced by my mom's next words. Initially, I was going to let it slide, watching you berate Layla. I didn't want to cause any issues in your future living arrangements, but enough is enough. You're the one living lavishly on your husband's money, and you dare tell my daughter not to do the same. Are you kidding me? How can you demean and belittle my daughter in front of me? What would you think if I did the same to Walker right now? Wendy was completely silenced. I never knew my mom could get this angry. Neither Walker nor I could hide our surprise. Wendy, now quiet, seemed regretful and teary-eyed. She grabbed Walker's hand and stood up. Walker, let's go. I can't stay here any longer. For some reason, she tried to leave with Walker. Walker, of course, didn't go with her. He shook off her hand and snapped. How selfish can you be, Mom? Enough is enough. Wendy started to cry. What now? Even you, Walker? Everyone's treating me like the villain. I was thinking of you when... Before she could finish, Walker shouted. Cut the crap. What's for my sake? Apologize to Layla right now for ruining the 60th birthday celebration. Wendy was visibly shaken by Walker's fury. He seemed so forceful that it looked like he might hit her. Perhaps because of that, Wendy complied meekly. I'm really sorry. I truly apologize. Wendy offered a heartfelt apology to me and my mom. After all the time she had bossed me around, she was finally apologizing sincerely. So I thought about forgiving her. Yeah, right. I'm sorry, but I can't put up with Wendy's selfishness anymore. Ruining my mom's 60th birthday celebration made me realize that I can't live with this person any longer. Please, let's end this living arrangement. With the atmosphere already tense from my mom and Walker confronting Wendy, I unleashed my pent-up anger. That said, I never thought I'd be able to say all this to Wendy. Wendy was shocked when I suggested we should stop living together. She clung to me with a loud voice. Please don't say we should part ways. I'm truly sorry. I messed up today, but from now on I'll take care of myself. It's too late for that now. So as you've said, take care of yourself in your own home. Also, remember you mentioned not living large on my husband's money? Starting today, you'll need to find a part-time job and earn your own keep. My point was, own up to what you say. Wendy was taken aback. No, that was a mistake. I take it back. I didn't mean that part about not using my husband's money. Walker chimed in. a touch of irony in his voice. "So, moving forward, Layla can do whatever she wants with my money, right?" "Exactly." Well, Wendy was at a loss for words. I was on the verge of bursting into laughter. Everyone blamed her, and she was clearly out of options. Walker didn't hesitate to lay it out straight. "Stop depending on my dad's inheritance. Layla and me, we'll separate our living arrangements. And Mom, you need to work." Wendy kept repeating, "Impossible." "Look, Dad's inheritance isn't endless. One day it'll run out. Can you live on just survivor benefits and your own pension? You're not actually planning on depending on my salary, are you?" Wendy looked utterly confused. "How about working part-time at a subsidiary of my company?" Walker made a helpful suggestion, but Wendy kept hesitating, saying, "But no." "Then I can help you. We'll move out soon, and I'll cut off all contact. Considering recent events and today, I think it's fair." Wendy panicked at Walker's finality. "Fine, I get it. I'll do it. Just don't cut me off." And that's how Wendy put an end to her freeloading life. So the disastrous 60th birthday celebration came to an end. We all apologized to Mom and hurried home to start looking for a new place and packing. As soon as we found a new home, we moved. During this time, Wendy was noticeably more considerate, just like when we started living together. She even started helping with the chores, but that didn't mean we could continue living together. "Wendy, please reconsider." I had been saying no every time she asked, trying to make her reflect on her actions. It seemed Wendy was having regrets about her own behavior. Walker, my husband, had a proposal for her to work at his subsidiary company. "If you slack off or are late, I'll hear about it. Plus, it's a subsidiary of the company where your son works. If you screw up, it'll reflect badly on me." He figured a reasonable mom would consider. Basically, Walker was taking control until Wendy couldn't mess her life up anymore. He's a tough cookie, I thought. Days later, Walker told Wendy, "I spoke to the factory manager at the subsidiary. You have a job interview." With no escape, Wendy reluctantly went to the interview. She got the job and started working 5 days a week. Since she had been so lazy before, work seemed pretty hard and she spent her days off sleeping. As Walker had suspected, her work ethic was quite diligent, lest she ruin her reputation and, by extension, his. Working 5 days a week made her too tired to make a mess at home, which helped keep the household in order. In the midst of all this, she confided, "How long will I be stuck like this at my age? Living alone is lonely." If she hadn't been treating me like a slave, everyone could have been happily living by now. By the way, we had to redo the celebration for my mom's 60th birthday because Wendy had ruined it the first time around. It took some time to save up the money. Of course, Wendy wasn't there. When I proposed to my mom that we redo the 60th birthday celebration, she declined, saying, "I appreciate the thought, but it's too expensive. Your feelings are enough." "In that case," I said, and decided to prepare a nice meal at home. We had a delightful 60th birthday celebration redo. My mom was overjoyed, and Walker also celebrated with us. "Hey, Layla, you're not drinking." Well, actually, that day, my mom saved me from the unpleasant Wendy. They say motherhood is a strength, and it's true. I've been frustrated and stressed by Wendy, so this event reminded me of how great a mom can be. I want to be a mom who, no matter my age, cherishes her children just like mine does.